Well, good evening, brothers and sisters. It's great to see so many of you all out there already becoming part of the program of what I think is all the time. I think we've always got a great program on Monday Night Live, especially when we're dealing with people that are part of our family, part of our congregation. I think that I have the most wonderful people that are part of the Guiding Light Church. I love every one of you all. And, I just can't help but love you because y'all just are so many wonderful people. You're just outstanding in everything that you do. And to be able to have so many people that have been with me so many different years and see how God has done wonderful things with the lives of people that I've had an opportunity to speak into with the word of God, it's been a blessing to me. I love every one of you all for that. And knowing full well that um that you could have actually chosen anyone to be your pastor. It's an honor to be your shepherd, to be there for you. And one of the things I'm doing with Monday Night Lives, people have said, well, why do you do that? I'm doing Monday Night Lives because I want you to become familiar with the wonderful people that I know. I want you to become familiar with all the gifts and talents that are in this congregation. I want to just prominently display as much as I can those of you in your career choices, your fields that you're in, the giftings that you have. I want the world to know that y'all are outstanding. And a part of what we're going to be doing tonight, we've talked to people in the medical profession, teaching, that are in music ministry, and all Guiding Light is just we've just got, like I said, just outstanding people. Tonight, I've got two that are going to be speaking to you about senior care and caring for those people that are seniors. So tonight we're going to be talking about two of my sisters are going to discuss what they're going to do to help me out since I happen to be a senior and what's going to be necessary one day. And I'm not bothered by it because the Lord told Peter one day somebody was going to lead him around. These things do happen, but it's better than the alternative of not being here. And so I've got two wonderful guests that are going to be on tonight. We're going to be talking about senior care. Now, y'all may hear some questions about that. Senior care, people that may, as they get older, may have disabilities, um, about how to provide for them, benefits, when if they need extra care, government benefits. We're going to be talking about what might be available with the Medicare, Medicaid, other resources, private resources of caregivers, what hospice is about. So this is a great program. Everyone go out and tell somebody else about if you've got, especially someone that's in your family that's a senior or approaching that, this is a good time to prepare. We'll talk about a little bit of how we need to look ahead and how we might care for someone that may be an adult too that needs care. So before I bring our guest in, I want to ask the Lord's blessing to own this so this will be informative to every one of you all. Pastor Jim and I, our focus is to give you the word of God, to give you instructions from God's word, which is life, health to all of our flesh. And then after we do that spiritual thing, it's my desire to let you know about the material, the physical things. And that's what we have before us when we have our two sisters that are going to speak to us today. They are spiritually uh, blessed and they have spiritual wisdom, but they use that wisdom in a natural world to help people. So I'm going to do a prayer over this and then I'm going to bring them on one by one and we'll talk to them and let them share about what they have to offer. So when you're in a church, and one of the reasons you need to come to the church is to be there to meet these people, all of the folk that I've told you about. So you can be there and meet them. And because you never know, something my wife said years ago, you never know who your Joseph is. Fellowship to come together because for eternity is not what you know, it's who you know. Do you know Jesus Christ? And so it is in life. It's not what you know so much as to who you know. And it's people like those that'll be our guests tonight. You need to know that can help you. Not only can they help you, but you'll be a blessing to others too. That's what it's all about. So, Father, I thank you tonight for what you shall reveal for all of us, that we may know how to love one another and how to protect one another, provide guidance, and provide for one another with resources that are available to us. So I thank you tonight that wisdom will come forth, and that there are those that are out there that may have questions they can freely ask, and we'll try to respond to those questions tonight as we talk about caring for seniors that are among us, caring for those that might have special needs for assistance. So Father, thank you for that, and may the people's ears be open to hear how we can do it in the natural. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. So what I'm going to have, I'm going to bring two guests on with us, and one at a time, and they'll give you a little bit about their background, and then I'll give them an opportunity to share what they have to offer. And then we'll have questions, and I'll ask questions, and then you'll be able to participate in that. So, first of all, um, I think I'll go with the oldest sister I got, the one that, since we're talking about seniors, I'm going to go with the senior, but the senior that's a member of, that's been with Guiding Light. I hate to say it this way. I knew her when she was a little girl. And that just says, since I am a senior now, and she was a little girl, but she is a senior too. So we can get off on that stuff. I mean, I might be a senior, but she a senior member of Guiding Light, because she been around a long time, ever since she was a little girl. So what I'm going to bring on is Sister Tracy Doucette. Sister Tracy, hello with your old self as a member of Guiding Light Church. Been around for years, baby. So it is, say hello to everybody out there and just speak to them.
Hey, everybody. Hey, church family. How are y'all doing? It's good to be here and good to provide hopefully valuable information that'll be helpful, help you make decisions, help you kind of navigate through any questions you may have dealing with programs that are out there available for senior citizens. Um, I'm
But
here
now,
for
wait a minute. Let's get one thing straight too. Now, it says senior citizens, and I'm 69, so I know I'm a senior citizen. But we need to get the point across that you old too, baby. How many years you been with the church?
It's been, I started my freshman year in college, so I'm a now. And so it's been 30 plus years.
30
Um,
plus years. See, 30 plus years. See, the Beatles say you don't trust nobody over 30. You've been with the church 30 plus. You old girl. You've been
uh-oh.
as
Look,
far.
don't tell my husband that.
All right. All right. But just so I'm not the only one that's the senior around here, I want everybody to know that Sister Tracy has been, she's been wonderful with us. So she says 30 plus years. And y'all, I'm talking about faithful 30 plus years. And she's been working in our bookstore, library. Not, I mean, library is what I need to say. Library. She's got a lot of materials there. So you need to know when you get ready to go out those center doors, she'll be right there. So that's one way you can find her. And Tracy, you have worked in your life. Tell us a little bit about some of the jobs you've been in that allows you to be able to speak in regarding seniors.
In my career, right out of college, I started with DHR. I worked there for 12 years, did a little brief year and a half or so with the unemployment office, and then 13 plus years with Alabama Medicaid Agency, and I retired um, from there with 27 years total with the state. And now I am working with Guidehouse, and we are um, contracted out to UAB to assist people who don't have insurance. That would be maybe some of the indigent population and some people who qualify otherwise, um, pay for their medical bills here at UAB or at UAB hospital, and even going into a nursing home. So I'm doing institutional Medicaid. With that Medicaid knowledge comes being able to work in community programs, help people get in nursing homes, hospitals, several of your Medicare related programs for people who need assistance, maybe paying for the Medicare premiums and programs, and just a whole lot of things that are out there that people are not aware of. And for a long time didn't know about because we just didn't have people sharing the knowledge
Mm.
that it's not as difficult to get in a nursing home or to get help, government help, as um, as it seems to be. It's it's easy when you know how to navigate what you know what to do and what they're looking for, and that is what I'm here to explain and to help people with.
So to get resources for now, you mentioned nursing homes, but um, is that the only? Tell me a little bit more about it. What other resources do we have?
It's not
Or
it's not yeah, it's not just nursing homes, but you have individuals who may need nursing home level care, but they qualify for a community program, so they can get nursing home level care at home with
mhm.
the same things that you get in the nursing home, paying the same amount. Also, individuals who may not have any insurance may have just gotten on SSI or SDI or some kind of benefit program, and they're eligible for one of the Medicare or Medicaid programs that, again, little is known about, but it's out there if you know where to go and where to look. Uh,
SSI, I don't, something I know a lot. I know some things about the Bible, but what's SSI? What?
SSI would be Social Security for individuals who have not paid enough into the system to get Social Security retirement benefits. So that would be maybe a child of a parent who hasn't worked anywhere,
Mhm.
or maybe a parent or child of a parent who passed away when they were young, and so they hadn't paid enough into the system to be able to draw any benefits off of it. So those individuals are eligible for maybe a Medicaid program and not having to wait the time limit if they are eligible for the program and meet other criteria.
Help me understand that. So people have benefits available to them if they haven't worked long enough to get Social Security benefits, you're saying,
Hmm.
and they haven't paid enough in. So there are some benefits available to such people, like you said, a child
It,
of a.
it, it, yes, sir. It would be a situation where, again,
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a
uh,
minute. Did y'all hear her say yes, sir? See, she's throwing off on me about my age.
no,
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Go on. Go
it's just that in some situations, you have individuals or children who, for whatever reason, the parent may have died while they were young. You also, along that vein, you have couples who are married, and with the SSI related program, you have what's called widow widower for widows or widowers who were not eligible to receive Medicare, but they can get Medicaid if they're getting widows or widow benefits. Disabled children who were drawing under a parent who may have been getting retirement Social Security benefits but passed away. So now that disabled child, which is known as DAC, can get benefits. You also have situations where a person receiving SSI has started insurance, but it doesn't go far enough back to cover maybe hospital bills or other things that occurred. So you can do an application based on that. So there are several things out there that the public may not be aware of, but once you work in that field and you've been exposed to it, you kind of have a working knowledge, and that would be able to go to a source of finding out what to do to get eligible for these programs instead of hearing um, word on the street per se versus going directly to someone who can guide you and again help you through what may seem like a lot of obstacles and unnecessary paperwork.
Now, Tracy, I want to be able to, uh, if somebody needs to get in touch with you with who you work with now, um, can you just state what that is? I'll write it down and we'll put it up on the screen so they can know. Because I know a lot of people, I hear a lot of people saying they're struggling trying to make it. And
And
you're
and
talking.
I, I'm sorry, I have had individuals or in church members, and everybody knows Billy. Just let him know, and he'll put you in touch with me, because what I do at UAB is just hospital, Medicaid, institutional, and help them go. But what I'm willing to do for church members would be to help you, let you know. And again, some of the things that may seem overwhelming to you as an individual is second nature to me because I've done it so long. I can tell you what they're looking for. They're asking for this, but maybe they mean something else. This is what they really want you to do. And before you get to a point where you just throw up your hands and say, that's okay, I'm just not going to do it,
Mhm.
you know, seek out advice. That's what I do. That's what I've done for so long that I'm available.
Well, I do know members of the church that, and it's unfortunate I don't know some of the information that you have, but I'm glad to hear about it because I did not know. Um, I've heard stories of mothers sometime with their children, and maybe they don't have a job or they've lost the job. I'm not aware of these things, but you're telling me there are resources out there. Oh, I guess, and that may be something positive I can say about the government, that they're going to make sure nobody has to basically be poor. We just don't know. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And so, like you said, contact Billy. What type of people, if they would, should be that you can help become aware of this? Because I'm sure it's not everybody, but who would you like to say, no one in this church that's in this situation should feel like they don't have any resources? What type of people can you reach out to?
Well, what I would say, Bishop, is if I can't do it, then I would be willing to find out who can do it. So there's no one that I would not be willing to help. Um, you know,
Okay, but wait a minute, you can't take everybody to say, well, I don't have a job and I need some assistance. Or do you? What are you saying
oh,
here?
no. Now the employment part, that's Billy. He's the manager at the Career Center in Coleman. I'm the
Okay, wait,
manager.
wait, wait. So you telling me not only we talking about seniors and disabled folk, you're saying your husband knows how to help people in what way?
He works at the Career Center for the state. He's been with the state 30 years in December. So he's with the Career Center at Coleman. He's the manager. So he actually would
Mhm,
be the one that would help with job services or put you in touch and tell you what you need to do if you're in Jefferson County, because he
mhm.
does Coleman, but Jefferson County has an office or a career center that they deal with. So he's the job person. I'm
Okay.
the insurance person.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. All right. Well, now that's something I want to know. But what type of people? Okay. Now, who should contact you? What type of people? What type situation so they can know to get in touch with you, possibly through Billy, or to see you as you're in the library? Who should reach out to you?
I would definitely encourage those who are having situations where they have to think about maybe putting their loved ones in an institution, that would be a nursing home or that kind of environment, or you're looking for maybe even the community based waiver programs. Uh, any of your SSI, if you have any questions, and again, if there's not anything I can do for you, then I can always um,
Hmm.
put you in the direction that you need to go as
So,
far
if we're looking for care, so nursing home or some type of care, that's the kind of person needs to reach out to you.
yes.
Okay. Well, now, before we go too much further on here, I want to also bring so we can get a dialogue going on. For those of you that are listening, you got a senior, you got somebody disabled, you got I guess we're including those children too, that you need some resources. Sister Tracy will be able to help you with that. And as we continue to talk about seniors, I want to bring on our next sister that's here. We're going to have both. We're going to have both of them up on the screen here, and she deals with. She has her own company that she's put together, and she's because her heart, and as long as I've known her since the early 2000s in the ministry. Another beautiful sister, and just I mean, just so many outstanding people we have. I want to invite right now Minister Natalie Washington and be up here with us, and Sister Tracy at this point. And Minister Natalie, for a few moments, why don't you just share what you do, and then we're going to get a discussion going on, and because we got a lot of people asking questions out here, so y'all put your questions in there, and we are going to address those questions in just a little while. So, and as you hear what they're talking about, I'm going to have Minister Natalie just kind of have the screen for a minute, give you a break, Tracy. You can sit back there and watch, and then we're going to bring you back in here. So, Minister Natalie, great to have you on board tonight. Why don't you tell the folk a little bit about what you do, and of course I will interrupt and give you grief from time to time. Okay. Okay, let's get you in there. All right, go ahead now.
First off, thank you so much for inviting me to be here. I am just really excited because, like you said, this is a passion of mine. And there are some questions, and somebody has actually answered a question. And I'd said that we would address it. So I'll probably address it as soon as I introduce myself. But yes, I am a social worker, actually. I have a long history of about a little over 30 years as a social worker, and I have worked with many populations, but primarily seniors and families. They are my heart. And I've been in the medical arena and the community arena helping seniors and families. Started off working in a nursing home, actually, some time ago. And that was like one of my first jobs in the medical arena. So I have been a medical social worker for the longest, and really I'm a professional geriatric care manager. So as you said, I have started, and actually thanks to you, Bishop, in what was it, 2005, I think I came to you and I told you some things that I had been doing. And really, Senior and Family Matters started at Guiding Light, and we did educational programs. We had a lot of those things, and people at the church, they know what I do. And many people have come to me. People have been referred to me to help them with various issues with seniors and families. So it actually started at Guiding Light. But God gave me, he said, it's time to take it out of the four walls. And so really in 2016, I did something a little different, and I made it an LLC, but I got slapped on the hand and turned it into a nonprofit, which is what it's supposed to be, 2018. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit, got that recognition in 2019. So yes, Senior and Family Matters, Inc., and I'm a professional geriatric care manager, and I can certainly explain what that is.
I
It's
want you
similar.
to.
Sure. What I want to do is address this question, if it's okay, before I
Okay.
forget.
All right.
V. May asked, what are some of the in-home care services that are available? She asked that question, yes, right there when Tracy was talking. And I want to say, Tracy, my God, I'm glad to know you. It's amazing. Like Bishop says, there's so many resources within the church, human resources, and we don't know each other. We don't know what we do. I need to know you, and you need to know me. Because we do some of the same things, except I go in a lot in the family dynamic. So I'll explain that a little bit more. To answer your question, V. May, here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. You have in-home care services, yes, but you have what's called skilled care, which is home health, and it's ordered by the doctor. And then you have non-skilled care, which is your everyday living, helping with bathing, dressing, cooking, just the everyday activities of daily living. That's called custodial care. And they are provided mostly by a private company, family, friends, or it could be provided through a Medicaid waiver program, such as what Tracy was talking about. So yes, there are in-home care services available, but it depends upon your circumstances as to which type of in-home care you will get. So I hope that answers your question.
Well, before we go too far on that, I'm gonna bring Tracy in here and see if she's got something, because she was just talking about that a minute ago. She said because you don't have to necessarily go to a nursing home. Tracy, did you want to? Now I've got both of you on the screen here, so we can get that dialogue that I was talking about. Um, did you have any comment you want to make in regards to that of assistance that's available in that case, Tracy? Okay, let me get your mic on there. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please. Say again.
Minister Natalie is correct. There are several programs available um, through the state and those would be, like she said, the home and community-based waiver programs. I would suggest or recommend area agent, um, one of the offices that handles just those programs that try to assist with individuals being at home. And again, whether it's from having sitters come in, I know a little bit earlier we had talked about hospice, which is not necessarily for individuals who are about to pass away, but their failure to thrive. So they come in at times and often just, do the things needed to help you do a little bit better in a home environment or a home setting. So she is absolutely correct. There are other programs available out there that will assist with individuals in the home, and some of those can be subsidized by certain programs available. I'm not sure if that's my feedback or.
It's all right. You're coming through well. Um, I'm gonna jump in and throw something here. Minister Shante said her company offers mostly non-skilled homemaker companion and respite care. I think this is good because we're able to share, as Minister Natalie just said a minute ago, that we need to know each other. That's what Monday Night Live is also, to help people to come to know that God has already given us what we need in the house. And sometimes we're looking around and the answer is right in front of us. So those need to know that Minister Shante says she has a company that does this too. Let's let's continue. And Minister Natalie, let's go back because you got into answering that question. Senior family care matters. And we're talking about senior. You want to any more specific you want to say in that? As you two will can talk back and forth. And Tracy, feel free to talk to Ms. Natalie too, and y'all talk to each other because as you do that, people may have questions.
Okay.
Yeah, what I will explain is what I do. A lot of people are unfamiliar with the term geriatric care manager. A geriatric care manager is going to help you do everything, really. I can help with applications. I tell people where to go, who to call, questions to ask their doctor. I help them understand what the healthcare professionals may be telling them, walk them through that system. The healthcare system is very complicated. Help them understand what Medicare covers, what it doesn't cover. I'm not an expert in that, but I've been around a long time to be able to really kind of help people understand the basics. I will refer people out to people. That's the other thing that I do too, information and referral, lots of education, lots of hand holding. One of the most unique things that Senior and Family Matters does is, for one thing, it's that geriatric care manager role where I literally hold their hand through the process from start to finish. A family, a senior, they may contact me, especially caregivers, if they are facing a crisis right now. They may be in a position where they have been in the hospital. If they're a caregiver, they're taking care of their loved one and they're about to be discharged. And the discharge planner has told them, look, you've got to, we've got to figure out what we're going to do with mama. What are we going to do with daddy? And they're facing discharge plans. And many times they don't know where to go. They don't know how to start, where to get started. They don't even understand what's being told to them. So it literally is one-on-one direct information, guidance, counseling. Because we're a faith-based organization, I'm certainly going to be praying with them. I'm going to be walking them through the emotional, the physical, the everything about it. Because in the healthcare field and even in the community services such as Area Agency on Aging, I will refer people there too, but they don't have the time to deal with the ins and outs, the intricacies of working between things and holding their hands, emotional and spiritual support. So I can help people with all of those aspects of caregiving, helping a senior know, well, what do I need to do? I feel that I probably need to start getting some things in order. I can help walk them through that. It may be a discussion. I get into the hard things too. I get into family dynamics. I do a lot of counseling where you've got family dynamics, whether it be a caregiver, you got two adult siblings, and they may not be getting along. And mama and daddy still needs to be taken care of. And one thinks that, well, she needs to do this. And the other one is saying, well, no, she needs to do that. Or all kinds of things. So I get really deep and detailed into the family dynamics of problem solving, communication skills, stress management, crisis intervention, education. I do it all. So it's a combination of things, and it's a lot, but it's what I enjoy doing, and I certainly refer people out because we certainly can't do it all. But I hope I hope that makes sense of what a geriatric care manager does.
Well, it looks like you're caring for those other needs, and then if we look at what we have before us, we have Tracy that's saying, "I can provide you with financial resources." Both of you can,
Both.
but Tracy, do you do any type counseling as
I,
men?
I do not do the counseling, and just listening to Minister Natalie, the role that she is doing is so very vital because you often do have those family dynamics that hinder an application going forth. You have the family squabbles, and you do need to have just a set person that is going to be in charge of getting everything done. One thing that I will say and encourage that is your family members become a little bit older because of the generation we were raised in. We're not always aware of what is going on as far as financially, resources, and income. But if your parents or your loved ones are at an age where you can maybe get a handle and get in there and get things in order, you know where the insurance policies are, what kind of property, accounts, income, just resources and incomes that they have. Maybe just sitting down with them while they're able and putting those things together so that if you get to a point where you need to put your hands on them and have them readily available, that's already done. That goes hand in hand with what Minister Natalie is talking about, being able to step in there and advise the families of exactly what needs to be done. Now, hers, what she does really sounds more socially, spiritually. My part, of course, would be spiritually in the fact that anything that I do is always going to be to the glory of God. But my desire would be to help individuals as they navigate the application process, um, which of course will go hand in hand in making known any resources available out there that they may be interested in or need to apply for.
Okay,
So,
so it's for providing the resources. So we have understanding coming through Minister Natalie, and of course, now again, there's cross pollination. I might say we both do the same things. Okay. Um, well, and I heard you, Tracy, saying sometimes you need to deal with, get the information, sit down with them, find out where the policies are, things of the sort like this.
Yes.
Um, so, uh, so you're saying the Jim needs to sit down with me and talk about where everything is.
Mhm.
so sooner than
Mm,
later,
mm.
simply
Yes.
because, because, and this is not going to sound good, but
Ooh.
while you're mentally able,
Faculties.
Mhm.
because at any given time, anything can happen to anyone. And again, I know my mom, she knows where everything is. Doesn't translate into us knowing where everything is. And when we need to be able to put our hands and, uh, auntie from Texas or someplace comes and says, well, you remember they had that property down in, and like, wait, what? Or, mama and them left them that land, you know, all of that is countable and may affect eligibility. But here we are going cold looking for mom and them property, mom and them bank account. Okay, well, how's mama getting this check? Where is it going? And again, I've seen situations which were horrible You have senior citizens who don't feel secure at a bank. They'll open an account here today, and then tomorrow go open First Federal, and then the day after that go open Second Federal. So you have all of this going on, and it needs to be again at a time where you can put in place the people who you know will do right by you, because everybody that says they're Team Bishop is not Team Bishop. And some people want to be Team Bishop money.
Okay. So let me see if I understand. So then there should be a time, because we're talking about seniors, of which I am a senior. I should sit down and make sure that if anything happens, all of it's outlined and clear at this point. So that okay, and I should do that with my kids. In other words, right? So, but what about the independent seniors that we have that don't want to discuss nothing? You know, because the Natalie looked like you're about to say something about that because you've done it, I guess. Have you seen this?
Well, I have been in the middle of the squabbles. I have had to, and that's part of what I do too as a geriatric care manager. That it just comes with the territory. And in terms of being a mediator, I have been in situations where people have nearly come to blows because of what their mom, dad, whoever it is that is needing care, they may have assumed that they were the one in charge, or they may have assumed that mama or daddy wanted them to do this on their behalf or whatever. And it's just very important to have that communication done sooner than later. While you are independent, because as Tracy said, we just never know. If anything can happen at any time. It's not just even growing old. You know, you had a couple of people here on a Monday Night Live talking about the importance of power of attorneys and living wills and these types of things. These sorts of things, you can be as young as 19 years old and have these things drawn out. Uh, an accident can occur if you're 20, 25 years old, you have a brain injury. Who's going to make decisions for you?
Mhm.
Somebody asked a question about dementia and, in trying to get information on their insurance and medical records. Here again is why it's so important to do these things sooner than later, because anything can happen at any time and you're not able to speak for yourself. And you want to make things as peaceful as possible for your family so that they're not fighting each other, or also that they're not confused as to what to do. They're not stressed out or burdened because they don't know what to do because you didn't have that conversation. So, a lot of times, what I do with families, I sit them down as a family and I talk to them and I tell them, I said, listen, we've got to do this. We really need to do this. And for those strong, independent seniors and older adults who don't want to do that, one of the ways that I really work to convince them to do it is to think about this. You say you don't want to be a burden on your children. Well, then the best way not to be a burden is to take care of everything for them so that they don't have to make decisions that they're unsure about. So it is extremely important. And, I help educate people about the importance of living wills and power of attorneys and how beneficial they are and how detrimental it is when you don't have one, especially if a person has become, um, they've been diagnosed with dementia. When you have dementia, and legally in the state of Alabama, you cannot do a living will or power of
Mm.
attorney because you're not within your right mental capacity to make any decisions or to sign a legal document. So again, another reason why it's so important to do these things sooner than later.
Let
And
me.
and she is absolutely correct on that, because you get into a situation, even with some of the patients here in the hospital, if you do not have anything in place, then you're looking at a situation where you'll have court appointed guardians who will always, and even in the hospital, they have individuals that are um, pro patient. They act on behalf of what's best for the patient, and it may not be exactly what you want or what you've expressed your desire to be to your family. They're going to be looking out for what's good for the patient, number one, the hospital interest. But then you get into a situation where you start getting court appointed guardian ad litems, things divided not the way you wanted them to be, just all sorts of unnecessary pain and going through just all everything. But as she said, once you have dementia, you are not mentally capable of making any decisions. They take that power, and it is usually given to a court appointed. If you have a family member, things are divided up accordingly by the state of Alabama, how it is. You know, your spouse gets a certain amount of your children. If you don't have a spouse, you go through all of that rigmarole. When if you had taken care of things when they were supposed to be done, then you can avoid all of those issues. Making it plain to your family what you want to have done.
Well, I think what we're saying here is that you said, one of you all said, have the conversation sooner than later. You've been mentioning dementia and Alzheimer's. Now, well, for those that might not know, such as myself, and I hope the reason that I don't know anything about it or is that I haven't known something about it and forgot about it, and I might be on dementia or Alzheimer myself. What what do we mean when we say dementia, Alzheimer? Either one of you all would like to address that. And
Yeah.
it's because you say if you got it, I just heard Tracy say, if you're diagnosed with it, then you just lost your ability to make certain decisions. And
Right. Yeah. There are some signs. One of the things I want to first off address right now is something that you just did, and you said it jokingly, but what happens is people, they start believing those things and they don't understand, you know. One thing that I want to make clear is old age and dementia does not go hand in hand. And I know people know that, but a lot of times people joke about it. And it's kind of a stickler for me because we are snared by the words that we speak. And I want to make it clear that just because a person may forget or start to kind of forget where they place their keys or names or addresses or faces, that is not a sign of dementia. It's much more serious than that. It's much more chronic. So, some of the signs is like getting lost in familiar places. You've been going a certain way, been going the same way to church every Sunday or something, or going to work even, going to the store, and suddenly it becomes very difficult for you to find your way there or find your way home. There may be a change in personality. There may be a situation where the person is isolating themselves more, feeling a little bit more or appearing to be depressed. They seem to be depressed, persistently confusing family members. It's not like, my grandmother, sometimes she would say, you know your name, come in here, you know what your name is. She didn't have dementia, but, she just kind of was just stressed. So there are differences. Another sign is denying or covering up memory difficulties. Memory is one of the first signs, but if it is something that is becoming more persistent and it's getting to where it's affecting your everyday living, your everyday life, then that's where it's a concern. And there are different types. I want to say this while I'm at it, because I have to do a lot of education as well. There are so many difficult behaviors that people who are dealing with some form of dementia, they may experience or exhibit certain types of difficult behavior. So part of what I do also is to try to help people find the right type of intervention, or the right way or best way to help them cope with certain difficulties and maneuver through them. Sometimes it's just they need medication to kind of help with some of these difficult behaviors. Alzheimer's is the most common type of dementia, but there are several different types of dementia, and a doctor needs to be consulted with and to actually get a really clear diagnosis of what type of dementia it is. a neuropsychologist or a geriatric psychiatrist can help with those things, but they need to start with their regular family doctor.
So in other words, just forgetting, like you said, forgetting the keys or other things. Oh man, I forgot. Don't need to be worried about maybe I got. But as you said, going to familiar places. That's good. Well, what type of funds are available for families who might need if we for pay for sitters if they're there? I mean, sometimes we have now. COVID has kept us at home, and that has put a lot of folk in over a year's time. Some things may have changed. So let's talk about paying for sitters or daycare if we're not going to put them necessarily in a nursing home. And nursing home doesn't have to, from what I'm hearing you say, doesn't have to be the end result. It could be having somebody come to the house. Well, how do I pay for that?
If I can jump in here, because Tracy talked a little bit about that earlier, what I want to say is that she apparently mostly works with folks whose income is low or minimal. Am I right, Tracy?
That is correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
and the issue is, and this is where my area and what I do, what we do, um, as a geriatric care manager, I work with the unfortunately the bulk of people don't qualify for a lot of these services, and so what I have to do is try to first off see if they do and go through the income and eligibility criteria, because yes, those services are out there and government assistance is there. Even the veterans, the VA also has a program through aid and attendance. So we certainly walk through and I help people figure out, well, first off, let's see if you qualify for something that is free. If their income is too high, unfortunately, a lot of people, that's why we exist, Senior Family Matters, they miss it by even $1. And it's tough. And Medicaid is very, exact, and it's good that they do have programs like what Tracy works with to try to see if there's another way around it. But a lot of people do have to pay for it out of pocket. The VA does have benefits for people who can stay at home if they qualify. They have to be a veteran. They have to have served so much time during a conflict. Caregivers, they have assistance. Even the VA has wonderful benefits for family members. But again, the first way to qualify, of course, is to be a vet. The VA also pays, will give a discount, I should say, to assisted living facilities. That is another resource that people do need to be aware of. They may not be sick enough or have enough issues where they need a nursing home even, but they still can't be at home and they may not have anybody that can really come in to help them. Assisted living facilities is an option, but it is out of pocket. Medicare does not pay for it, nor does Medicaid. So what most people have to do, the burden lies with the family. Hence why Senior and Family Matters, we especially deal with caregiver support and elder orphans, because we got a lot of seniors that they may not have children, or if they do have children, they may be sick and can't help, or sometimes they're unavailable. They maybe live out of state and they can't help. There's all types of circumstances. So we try to, help them find somebody within their church maybe or their family to try to help them live at home so that they don't have premature admission into a
Well,
nursing
let
home.
me ask you this: it sounds like either if you can't take care, what you just mentioned is that if you don't make a certain amount of money, they can help you, Medicare, Medicaid.
Medicaid,
Okay, but Medicaid then. But okay, what about what about the middle class? I'm not
yeah,
at the bottom.
right.
Uh, so, but if I'm in that area, am I just up a creek and don't have a paddle, Tracy? I mean,
Well, that's
yeah, everybody else getting take care. I done worked, I done put money in the system, and now here I am, and you gonna take care of all the folk ain't got no money, and just cause I saved some money, so I got to get rid of all my money before I'm gonna be able to get some assistance.
basically,
Well, and here's
but
the thing. It is income based, but there are workarounds around.
Please,
Uh,
Tracy, speak up. Tell me something.
you
Because there may
can.
be a lot of folk that are out there that need to know they want to get somebody come in and take care of mama, take care of daddy, and they maybe make money and they're not at the bottom of the
Well,
ladder.
now this would not be, and it could possibly be a situation where it's home transitions from a nursing home setting into a home community-based waiver. Because again, they would like for individuals to be at home if they can. But income-wise, there are trusts that you can set up, a qualified income trust that you can set up, as well as exclusions of certain types of income and or resources, things that you can do to become income and resource eligible.
Wait a minute, hold
You
on
may,
now. But let me ask you, you said there's certain trust and stuff. So you're talking about people who are working, they need to be setting aside some money now to, is that what you're implying? Telling me?
no, that's not what I'm telling
Tell me.
you. But what I'm saying is that if there's a situation where you have too much income to qualify, let's say for a nursing home, then you can set up an income, a QIT, a qualifying income trust. If you have too many resources, you can set up an Alabama Family Trust. You can do things like designate things for burial for yourself and for your family members. It is an inclusive listing, so there are workarounds. There
Okay.
are even solutions for couples, and or if you would like a certain amount of your income to go towards maybe some type of insurance. If it's a benefit to you, insurance wise, health insurance wise, they'll give you a deduction for that. So there are some deductions. Granted, you know, there are limited exclusions. They are out there. Doesn't necessarily they will mean that they all will work. You do have individuals who worry about, of course, things like losing houses and, you know, having to put liens on property and things of that nature. That is true, but there are workarounds for that as well.
So there's a workaround for me if I have a decent income. Let's say now, my mother is she's 93. She's fine. So and we got her working, so she's doing okay. But what if somebody has a mother or father at home and they're at the point that they might need some other care, but they are not, that maybe they don't qualify. What do I
Then, then you would set up a QIT, which is a qualified income trust. That would mean like your income basically would make a pit stop in this qualified trust that you can set up, and Medicaid has the paperwork. All of your income, except for $30 that you get to keep, is payable to the nursing home. Whatever is left in the trust goes to the state of Alabama. So let's just say well, but you have to think about it. They're paying room and board, and it's it's pretty expensive. They're paying everything to the extent that Medicaid covers these things. Um, so once they dissolve the trust, and that would have to be, if the individual passes away, then Medicaid will get what they've paid out of it. If anything's left, it goes to your heirs or whoever you have set up.
okay,
If I can,
well, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But it just sounds okay. Nat, go ahead and I mean, come on, and then we're gonna move on. So that sounds
well,
so sad to me. Because I make money, and now I got to pay what I got left to survive, and yet somebody that didn't make money, they got all this stuff taken care of. Is that right?
Bishop.
I mean, I just say it like it is. I don't, and people get mad with me because I mean, I'm
No,
just blunt.
And
no,
then you have to think about it. Usually, um, people who are in a situation such as yourself has already made arrangements, so they're and again, sometimes things happen, and this is maybe like a resource available for when things happen. But you have individuals who have already prepared. They have long-term care insurance in pocket to take care of assisted living or nursing home expenses. And then you have to think about it. If it's a assisted living situation, whatever income that you pretty much have is what you'll be paying to that facility anyway. And it's not the same as a nursing home. Assisted living is you have assisted living. You're in usually
Mhm.
like an apartment setting, and you have people that will come in and do your cleaning, do your stuff for you, and prepare your meals and things of that nature. So if you've prepared enough and you have things in place, then
Well, it just sounds like my money that I've worked for has got to pay for me to be in assisted living, and then somebody else over here, they got their money. Government gonna pay for them to be in assisted living.
no, government does not pay for assisted living. That is,
Okay.
mhm.
What about nursing home?
Mhm.
Government does pay for nursing home.
Okay, so do I have to pay my money to be in a nursing home because I make too much money?
A certain amount you have to. It's just, but
Okay,
let me
gone.
say this.
I'm
Let
through
me
with
say
that.
this. Everything, if I could just add this real quick,
Go ahead.
everything
We're
that
gonna move to the
Tracy
next
said,
question.
everything that Tracy said, of course, is exactly right. Obviously, we work in this, she's exactly right. Um, but here's the thing that I want to say is, Lord, what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh. Um, what I would suggest that people do, she's talking specifically really about nursing home. You were asking about if you're at home and you have these resources, you got savings and this type of thing. It's true. You really do have to use your resources first, but you can talk with an estate lawyer. I always encourage people to talk. You've had Rodney Davis. He was on here once.
That's
Yeah,
our brother.
that's what he specializes in, is at estate planning. And there are workarounds, like Tracy said, to protect your as much as your assets as possible. That's what I was going to add to what Tracy said. Uh, that's one way you can kind of protect some of your assets, like the Alabama Family Trust. They can help people, or Rodney, or there's Rodney. He's one. Our brother. He can help you set things up so that you can protect as much or as many of your assets as possible. But the
Well,
system is set up where you do have to kind of use your resources first.
well, see, what I'm trying to get guiding light folk to do is be independent. And when they get independent, then they get penalized because they're not poor because they've made something. But then in the final analysis, it's like, well, we're gonna take the rest of it from you because you had this situation. But we're gonna move on from that. Let's talk. Let's see if we got some. Here's Dorothy has said this. She asked a question: how long does your house need to be out of your name to be exempt from the state taking it for nursing home care?
They Medicaid has a 60-month look back period, so it needs to be transferred. And keep in mind there are exemptions for property. Let's just say you're married and your spouse is living on a property. They will not put a lien on it. It's excludable because it's a dependent relative living there. Things like you may have a child who is disabled. It's excluded for things of that nature. It could be income producing property. You have situations where people have mobile homes on property that don't belong to them. They don't put a lien on the mobile home, nor can they put it on the property because it doesn't belong to you. But there are exclusions, and again, they have a 60-month look back period to see anything that's been transferred out of the name. How it was transferred. If you transferred it to a disabled child, that's yours. It could be a spouse to spouse transfer. That's not a penalty. So, again, there are workarounds. And again, you transferring a property consists of you doing a deed on a piece of paper with a date on it that can actually, not that I'm encouraging it, be backdated and say anything. It does not have to be filed.
Okay. See, well, then that's important because I'm hearing how they're gonna take it if you don't. From what it sound, is this sound right? Help me. uh, the government is going to take your stuff unless you pre-plan well enough to keep them out your stuff. Does that make sense?
Uh, Bishop, no, kind of, sort of. But
No,
again,
kind of, sort of.
but that is you talking with your children and getting things done before you need to, because if you've planned and you've already made a situation where the property, you can live on it and leave it, a certain way, and then it'll be excluded or it won't be a lien on it and not considered a transfer. If you intend for your children to have the property, you can always have a right to live on the property and go ahead and deed it over to them now. And 5 years from now, that's not going to make a difference because you've done it today. And that was your intent all along anyway.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
you would just have the right to live on the property until you pass away. They can't sell it. They can't do anything to it until you pass away.
Okay, here's another question we've got here, and I think this is in regard to when we were talking earlier about dementia. What if a will was written before a diagnosis of dementia was given, and then the person desires that they want to update their will? And I guess this is after the diagnosis, perhaps. Uh, y'all got any comment on that? I mean, what do you think? Speak to it, because I'm ignorant in
I'm,
this area.
I'm thinking no, because that person has dementia. And once that has been declared, they are no longer in their right mind to make any decisions.
That's right.
Even to update their will, as they say, well, I want to
Not
change.
even, no,
It's too
no.
late.
It's too
But if
late.
I can speak to it, because I
Mhm.
can see why and how come a person would ask this question. With dementia, a lot of times a person with dementia can seem like they're in their right mind one day or in the morning, and then later you can see clearly that, oh yeah, they do have dementia. And sometimes it seems like they have crystal clear moments, and then other times they don't. So I can see why a person would ask that question. But no, if it has been documented, it's been declared by their doctor, that they definitely have dementia, then no.
Okay, then I see that our brother Darius made a statement. He said it's great information to start planning, not only for our parents, but also for us, meaning, I guess, the younger members. She says, and I think he's correct. Would y'all agree?
Yes.
It's better safe than sorry. Well, I never thought about it. So, as y'all are bringing that up, because, I praise God I'm healthy right now, but of course, like what happened with COVID, we never know. And I guess planning is the best thing that we need to do. Um,
Yeah.
let's see, and I want to invite everybody out there. If you got any questions, let's put them in there so we can. We got two great people here, great resources, and I want you to know we're talking to Tracy Doucette and Minister Natalie Washington. And Tracy's talking about financial assistance and understanding about what goes on with Medicare, Medicaid, various other resources that she knows of, having worked with the government for a long time. And Minister Natalie has her own business called Senior and Family Matters, which deals also with counseling services to help people understand what they need to do. Because I am sure that dealing with old age, with both of them, or senior care is happening every day. And unfortunately, like such as myself, and I don't mind being honest about stuff. Certain things I don't look into, never paid any attention to it. But it's good that I'm hearing them say this now, and I want everybody to let's wake up. The Bible says, "Lack of knowledge, people destroy it." I'm trying to provide you with knowledge. This is great knowledge for me too. So if we have any other questions, let's keep doing that. Let's see. What about programs in our community to help the elderly physically remain physically active or mentally engaged? I'm sure there are things out there. I think what I'm doing now, and I know God's got a plan for me, and I know when I put my mother to work, I
Mhm.
put her to work. I know, and I've heard another brother was telling me just yesterday, talking about if they took their parent out of their home that they have, they're in their home by themselves. But if you take them out and put them in a place where people are caring for other stuff, that they go down. So let's add something to that, because I know people say something. We need to get mama out the house because mama don't need to be at the house by herself. But
Well,
Natalie, yes.
the Area Agency on Aging it really is a gate to a lot of different services. They've been around a very long time. So they definitely have the senior centers. COVID stopped a lot of that. I mean, they just shut down last year, and it was really a bad year. for seniors who were accustomed to being able to go to the senior centers and be able to play games and have people come in and talk to them about resources and education about chronic diseases. They would have exercise programs. And I think a few of them are beginning to do a little bit of that now, but that is really the primary thing that a lot of seniors in the community in various areas, because every county in Alabama is covered by an area agency on aging. And so that's definitely one resource to kind of get people out of the house to do different things. Of course, even Guiding Light has acts too, different clubs people are a part of. They can, get involved in doing things like that, just getting out of the house, walking groups, a lot of seniors, very active. Just because you get this title of senior doesn't mean that life goes down. One of our core values at Senior Family Matters is healthy aging. So I actually encourage seniors, if they can work as long as they possibly can. And many of them will on their own terms, a lot of times, because they can do that. They've retired or they've now drawing Social Security, and they have to be very careful with the amount of income that they get. So volunteerism is another way that a lot of seniors remain active, getting involved with a hobby. There are different ways, and a lot of seniors are very active. And I encourage that because it really helps to, make a very fulfilling life. Life does not end at 65. For many people, 65, life actually can begin. And so it's just healthy aging is very important, very important.
And along with what Minister Natalie is saying, you have AARP that's out there that's offering
Yes.
a lot of programs. Your junior colleges are offering senior citizen programs where they'll
Yeah.
let you go back to school and give you on-the-job training that focuses in your age group. So, like she said, it's not the end. Doesn't mean that you're finished, but they have programs out there available, not just with your junior colleges, but with some colleges. So there's training available. Um, she mentioned churches. I know in our community, our senior citizens are really active. Even during COVID, they still get together. They do things with the school. Some of them do the 4-H thing where they go out and do nature preserves with the children. So just being involved in your community.
Yes.
You still have senior citizens, at least when school or COVID wasn't out there and school was open, going to school, reading to the children. Um, Head Starts, you senior citizens. So you have plenty of things that they can do
Yeah.
just to keep their mind and their body active.
Right.
So we're just saying here for those that are the younger ones out there, and you got your parents. So what I'm correct to say to everyone that's listening, as Brother Darius mentioned a moment ago, uh, we should keep our parents active and
Yeah,
involved.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, because I mean,
Encourage them to. Encourage them to. Um, do all you can to encourage them to do it. Even, because here's the thing. I work with children who are taking care of their parents, and sometimes I get this. Well, Mama doesn't want to do that. She does. She just want to stay home. That's all she wants to do. I can't get her out of the house. So what I would suggest is this. You can't make them, but definitely strongly encourage them, and maybe puzzles. Get them away from the news. My goodness, get them away from the news because it's extremely depressing, and it actually impedes or um, your mood and in such a way that impacts your aging. It impacts your health, which impacts your aging. So you can't make them, And this is something I tell a lot of people too. You cannot make your, as long as you are alive and they are alive, they're going to see you as their child. So part of what I do in that counseling and that family dynamics is working with adult children. You cannot be your parent's parent. You have to find a way to communicate with them so that they have some sense of control and independence. Because once a person feels like they're losing that, it's extremely depressing. And I know that adult children mean well. I'm an adult child too, of two parents. Um, but there's a way to do it. And so communication is very important. Again, that's part of what I do with Senior Family Matters too. You know, how do you get your mama or daddy off the road? You see that they're having issues with driving. They may not have dementia, but their coordination is off. There is a class that they can take. There's the doctor that can get involved to kind of help in that. How do we need to start, saying, Mama, Daddy, I don't know if you need to be driving. Don't just take the keys. You're going to have a conflict. You're going to have a fight. So you have to be strategic. You have to be very careful in how you communicate your love to your parents. So I just wanted to say that. And another thing, before we run out of time, I really wanted to say is depression. Depression is something that, and I'm kind of jumping the subject, but I want to make sure I talk about it because it's so important. Sometimes people think that a person has dementia when in actuality, it could be that they are severely depressed. There are several things that can mimic dementia. It may seem like they have dementia. It could be that they have had multiple strokes. It could be that they have Parkinson's disease. It could simply mean that they are depressed. And a lot of doctors miss that. And you have to be, if you are a caregiver, or even if you're not a caregiver, it doesn't hurt to be mindful of what your parents are taking. What types of medications are they taking? Because different medications can cause a person to mimic where it may seem like they have dementia, when in fact their medications may be working against them. They need to be adjusted. So again, it's a lot of things that we do, a lot of things that a care manager does. People can contact me at any time. I will give my number for Senior Family Matters is 205-598-8003.
All
And
right.
Bishop, one last thing
Hmm.
as a vote of encouragement. I know my mom, and I think Billy's mom too, my mother-in-law, enjoys the outreach that the church does as far as keeping up with the elderly people, reaching out, talking to them, calling them, and checking on them. It just makes them feel loved by the church, and know that they're missed and they have a place in the church. So I would encourage that to continue because, again, I know it's something that my parents enjoy.
Well,
Yeah.
I want it to be understood that, and this is kind of, I don't know, uh, don't want to sound self-serving, but because since we're talking about my age group, so sad. But
It's not sad,
you,
Bishop.
you know me, just me. But I'm 69. I'm getting on up there, and you know. But what I like what you said is the mentality, the mindset
Mhm.
to get early, to do the things, prepare. Knowledge is power. And that's a statement that's been said before. And the state remain active to encourage your parents. I think you would agree with me, each one of you, to encourage your parents to stay active and involved. A part of what Tracy, you said a minute ago, is what we do at the church. I'm going to ask everyone out there, we got to work together to take care of our seniors. And I don't mean that sounding self serving, um, but I mean it from the standpoint that God called us to be a family. We need to work together as a family. We need to be there helping one another to help Acts 2 when they come there, to be a part of it. Guys, when I was younger, I mean, I remember the old folk, and I used to think people my age, oh, they over the hill. The only reason why they being so close to God because they know they're going to die soon. Well, I'd like to think I'm not going to go pretty soon, but we got to work together. So I'm going to ask all the younger folk out there, get involved. Let's recognize that one day God tarries. Those of you that are in your 30s, you're going to be here one day. Like when I was there, I mean, I who you just don't think about it. But in the church, we want to set up activities. Those with Pastor Jim saying your giftings, get involved. We have a program called the 65 Plus Support Ministry now, and I think Minister Nally, you're aware of that program. Can you speak and as Tracy has said about doing things within it? What is that program that we got that we can use in the church right now?
Bishop, you said, are you aware of that program? You you told me to spearhead it.
Oh my God. I wonder if I got no, but you said it's not the little things you forget. It's like I still know how to get to the church. I still know how to get there. But why don't you tell somebody about it? Because I don't remember what it's about.
Bishop, stop. No, the
Uh,
65 the 65 plus support ministry was established. You and the elders, you all came together and said, you know, we
quit,
need to
quit
take
trying
care
to
of our.
remind me. I'm asking you, tell me.
I'm trying to tell you, Bishop, it was, I can't
Oh,
remember what month, was it November or something when we had a meeting? And you said that I think the elders and you got together and you all wanted to, do something, a task force, I believe is what y'all called it, to try to help our seniors in at GLC. And so you told me to spearhead it. So I got together with a few people and we have a wonderful team and we've actually done some things. It's called the 65 Plus Support Ministry because it really is for 65, those 65 and older, because that is the usual age. That's the government age, 65 and older. And so it's 65 plus. And so the support part is to really, we did a survey. We did a survey. We sent out a survey to our 65 plus brothers and sisters at GLC to find out what kind of needs are they're having or they may or may not have. I'm happy to say that most of our seniors at GLC are well taken care of and have a strong support system. But there were a few that needed a few things, and I and my team, wonderful team of sisters and Deacon Billy even helped with one sister to get something done. We got the friendship team. We have the because we're talking about support. There's already a group of people, including myself, that reach out and call some of our seniors at Guiding Light to see how they're doing. Just touch bases with them. There's been a few that had some a little bit more needs, and so that's where Senior Family Matters. We kind of have a little partnership there where I needed to work with them a little bit more in depth on things that they had going on. But we are available. We're looking for volunteers. We can always use volunteers that can be a part of the team. Use your giftings in that regard. And it's not a lot of things that need to be done, but when they need to be done, we would love to be able to call upon more team members. I've got a great group, but we could always use some more that when needs are there, we can call upon you and maybe you'll be willing to help us out some.
well, all right then. Since you want to tell everybody, I guess about what I asked you to do, to set up a 65, and I didn't remember it. So, uh, but I also said I ain't got dementia because I don't remember. But
Lord have mercy.
that's okay. So everybody, you heard her say that we do have a group, and we want to try to work with that. Y'all, please know. Maybe that's a part of my aging. I get more crazy. When I hope it ain't God saying you need to go to bed, you need to go to sleep. That's what Mama used to say. You're getting silly. You need to go to bed. You know, and God said you're getting silly. I need to bring you home. No, but listen here, y'all. Guiding Light is a family. Let's work together. Let's take care of one another. Let's encourage one another. And let's not be so offended with folk because you know who you are. I had one thing in there I said a minute ago. Only God defines who you are. Do not be offended with people saying things about you. Don't get hurt so easily. God defines you. Stand strong in who God says you are. And that's one thing I'm confident in who I am. And I can take the brunt of a lot of stuff. And sometimes I'm insensitive to other folk because their chips are here, but I don't mean any harm. I love all y'all. Any closing words? I'm gonna give you Tracy. Tracy's the money person. So if you need to know something about go get money, Tracy got all that. She got the government money. So Tracy, tell us a little something about again how they can contact you and what we need to do here. If you'll do that, please.
My contact is Deacon Billy. If you ever need me, he's always around, and he'll put you in touch with me. You know, you just snag him, and he'll get you to me.
Well, all right then. And so everybody knows Brother Billy. Minister Nally, a word or two you might want to say before we close out.
I just thank you for this opportunity and just re-emphasizing what Bishop said. We do need each other and we need to care for each other. Something that I do, I have a tips and scripts for the caregiver's life. It's driven by really trying to encourage people to care for one another. And we are living in a time where people don't seem to care for each other. And if we are family. And I just want to encourage everybody to reach out and do a little bit more. It really don't require much, even just a smile or a phone call or whatever. If you want to help a senior, you want to help somebody who's in need, call me, and I'll tell you. Listen, they could use a little help. So just reach out and care for each other, and call me if you need me. There's my phone number. If you need any hand holding or some direct assistance, family dynamics, whatever stuff that's going on, planning, I'm here for you.
And I think, Minister Nally, you have your own office so too, right? Where are you
Yes.
located?
It's the Trustful Office Park, 3536 Van Road, Suite A11. It's in
Okay.
Birmingham,
And
right off of Gaston Highway.
what is your website address?
That would be www.seniorandfamilymattersinc.org.
www.senior and family matters inc.org, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I have a person who's a visitor say, how can I get in touch with Deacon Billy? And says I was a visitor. And good, Sister Lita, then he is there at the church. What's the best way we say, Tracy? Because I know you, uh, should they, what do you suggest to get in touch with? And Billy is her husband. That's the reason why she's saying, get in touch with my husband. She's proud of her husband. He's such a great man. In fact, I remember them getting together long years ago, the little cheering when they got together, and now they got cheering of their own. And I'm so glad to know that I was there in the beginning. But that just showed another little thing about my age. So,
Uh-oh.
but
If you can just email us at billytracybellsouth.net. So that's BILLYTRACY at bellsouth.net.
all right. So we got that, and I think we've had a great program tonight, and everyone. Thank you for being a part of the program. I appreciate you, Minister Natalie and Sister Tracy. I tell you what, I was I just want the congregation to know what's going on and what's out there, what's beneficial. And I think in summary, planning, pre-planning is the best thing we can do. Also, not getting to the point of thinking as I have done poorly tonight, we owe and all. Just don't let that mentality get in there. Continue the youthfulness. Don't think in terms of that. Because I think Minister Nally and Sister Tracy will say, if you get there, if your mind does it, as Pastor Jim has said from the Word of God, there's a man think of, so is he. So those of you that are younger, don't get to the point that you got to act mature and act like this all the time. God's blessed me. I let a lot of stuff roll off my back. I don't get hurt with a lot of things that people say, but that's what I've been called to do. But we're going to work together. And remember, guiding light, the thing is that you are truly blessed. You're created to excel. and not fail. And a part of what we're going to do is we get ready to go out of here. Remind everybody, this will be online. I will be catching up. Tracy observed what I was doing when I was putting the program together, and she said, "Bishop, do you have to do all of that?" And I said, "Yes, we don't have a media team the same way we used to, but I love doing what I'm doing because it keeps my mind active. And I've learned today that even though I am old, by keeping my mind active, maybe I won't get old faster than I need to get old because there's some young old folk too. So, but I ain't going to no nursing home soon. So, Jim, if you out there listening, you can forget it. I don't care how much we talk about it. It just ain't going to happen that way because we going to have a fight. You ain't got to wait till I die for us to fight. we going to fight before I die. I ain't going to no nursing home. Okay.
You're not old till you're 98, Bishop. You got a long ways to go.
Well, my mama, she working now. So everybody out there, keep your head up. Know who you are in Christ Jesus. Don't let nobody redefine who you are by talking about your age or whatever your background or anything. So we're gonna get ready to go. I'm gonna thank you, sisters, for being with us. Tracy, the oldest member that's in the congregation that's up here, older than Minister Natalie. And then I think Minister Natalie's just a little bit older than you physically, but you old compared to the being a member of the church, 30 plus years. So thank you for being a part of it, Tracy. And everybody know, get in touch with Brother Billy, and we'll be seeing you, Tracy. All right. And then Minister Natalie, then you like age wise, but I already found a way to make you younger than Tracy because you've been at the church a lot less than her. But we love you. We appreciate you. And we'll be seeing you soon. Everybody keep that in mind. All right. Thank you again. All right. And let's see. There are a few things I want to go out with you to let you know that some other positive things when we talk about created to excel. There's something here I want to share with you that our sister Wilhelmina Evans, she has a grandson who, hey y'all, check this out. The Detroit Tigers, that's a baseball team. She was telling me about her grandson and what he was doing, how well he was playing basketball. I think that he's the MLB, which is Major League Baseball draft. He was drafted, pitcher Dylan Smith. He was drafted and with to be with it's the Detroit Tigers. Okay, with the Detroit Tigers. And look at this stuff. He said 6'2" right-hander was Crimson Tide #1 starter much of the season. He posted a 3.84 ERA with 113 strikeouts and only 20 walks in 98 and a third innings spread across 16 stars. He's the grandson of Sister Wilhelmina. And I say to everybody about this that remember, the Lord blesses down to 1,000 generations that love him. And our sister Wilhelmina is a wonderful, awesome deacon in the church. She serves, she's given, and God has blessed her. That means for her all the way down to 1,000 generations, but she lives to see this with her grandson. So the accolades going out to Dylan, the grandson of Sister Wilhelmina Evans. And then Sister Amber Clark Brown. And you all know her as a dancer since when she got to the church. She's always been involved with the church. She has been selected. And she graduated from Morehouse School of Medicine. And she has been the part of 12 dynamic physician leaders as an inaugural cohort of fellows for the AMA, that's American Medical Association, SHLI, whatever that means, Medical Justice in Advocacy Fellowship. Outstanding work that's happening among our members of the church. I done told you, we got folk created to excel. And this is very powerful to see her. And as you all know, just this year, she married Brother Doug Brown, who's a faithful brother in the church. And I love it whenever the family gets together and they have an awesome marriage together. And he is married to an awesome wife, and she's married to an awesome husband. And so you can see all the things that she's got right there. So to God be the glory, and for everybody to recognize as we get ready to conclude right here. You remember the Guiding Light Church. by the power of God that has been vested in every one of you all, the power of God vested in every one of you all, you can say these words. And say the words together that we were created to excel and not fail. That is our divine potential. God bless you all. I'll see you on Wednesday night as we continue on our study of the narrow road. God bless.